Namaste, myself Triveni Khurana, Assistant Professor, Faculty of Physiotherapy and Diagnostic, JVN, Rajasthan. Today, we are going to discuss about muscle strength testing. An assessment of muscle strength is typically performed as part of a patient's objective assessment, and it is an important component of the physical examination that can reveal information about neurological deficits. It is used to evaluate weakness and can be effective in differentiating true weakness from imbalance or for poor endurance. It may be referred to as motor testing, muscle strength grading, manual muscle testing. Muscle strength can be assessed by a number of methods, manually, functionally, or mechanically. Strength depends on the combination of morphological and neuronal factors, including muscle cross-sectional area and architecture, musculotendinous stiffness, motor unit recruitment, rate coding, motor unit synchronization, and neuromuscular inhibitions. What is the function of muscle strength test? The function of muscle strength testing is to evaluate the complaint of weakness, often when there is a suspected neurological disease or muscle imbalance or weakness. It is an important part of the assessment in many patient groups, including patients with a stroke, brain injury, spinal cord injury, neuropathy, ALS, and a host of other neurological problems. Rehabilitation after sporting injuries, example ACL injury, after fractures and joint replacements, example TKR, gait and balance problems in the older adult, and fall risk assessment. Now, the Oxford scale. What is the Oxford scale? The most commonly accepted method of evaluating muscle strength is the Oxford scale. This method involves testing key muscles from the upper and lower extremities against examiner's resistance and grading the patient's strength on a 0 to 5 scale accordingly. 1 shows flicker of movement, 2 shows through full range actively with gravity counterbalanced, 3 shows through full range actively against gravity, 4 shows through full range actively against some resistance, 5 shows through full range actively against strong resistance. Commonly tested muscles include the shoulder abductors, elbow flexors, elbow extensors, wrist extensors, finger flexors, hand intrinsics, hip flexors, knee extensors, dorsiflexors, great toe extensors, and plantar flexors. These muscle groups are commonly chosen so that important spinal nerve roots are assessed systematically. Example, testing the strength of elbow flexor, elbow extensor, wrist extensor, finger flexor, and hand intrinsics allow for a methodological evaluation of the C5 to T1 nerve roots. There are a number of limitations to the usefulness of the Oxford scale, including poor functional relevance, non-linearity, that is, the difference between the grade 3 and grade 4 is not necessarily the same as the difference between grade 4 and grade 5. Patient variability over time, that is, alternating between grades due to fatigue. Intra-rater reliability, only assess muscles when contracting concentrically. Difficulty of applying the Oxford scale to all patients in clinical practice, so that strength is rarely assessed throughout the full range, as many patients assessed by therapists do not possess full range due to their respective pathology. Due to these shortcomings, therapists commonly use modified version of Oxford scale in the clinical practice. Now, next is dynamometer. Distal strength can be semi-quantitatively measured with the hand grip ergometer to record grip strength. It requires specialized equipment, most commonly dynamometer. Dynamometry is more precise measurement of the force that a muscle can exert and can allow for difference in strength to be recorded over time. Expensive versions exist as two cheap versions as found on. Next is functional testing. Often provides a better picture of the relationship between the strength and disability. As the patient does various maneuvers, deficiencies are noted and quantified as much as possible. Example 30-second sit to stand test or TUG. Rising from a chair or stepping on chair test proximal leg strength. Walking on heel and on tiptoe test distal strength. Pushing with the arm to get out of a chair indicates quadriceps weakness. Swinging the body to move the arms indicates shoulder girdle weakness. Rising from the supine position by turning prone, kneeling and using the hands to climb up the thighs and slowly push erect. That is Gower sign, which is seen in Dutch chain gait, suggests pelvic girdle weakness. Thank you.